Success is failing time after time and never getting discouraged. When I was practicing law, it was a time when BC grew really quickly. And so all the lawyers at Farris and Company were dealing with all the BC Tells and all the big companies. And so the small entrepreneurial companies were sort of dumped on my desk. I got to work with a lot of entrepreneurial people. And because they were very short of talent in their companies, I ended up being kind of a part of the management team helping to make deals, and I loved it. It was really fun. After a while, I realized that, you know, the practice of law isn't what I want to do. You're always dealing with events in the past, and I like the future. A close friend from university, Mike Brown, decided that we should look to setting some kind of a fund for investment, because we were seeing things that we didn't have any money ourselves to invest in. And so along the Canada Development Corporation, and they asked us to start a company. So that's what we did. We started in '73. They were all in the resource or service industries that we invested in. And then my partner, Brown, put together a financing for a company called MDI, which was the first data over radio company in the world. It was spun out of MDA, and that was a huge win. The company was eventually bought by Motorola for $100 million. And we did extremely well. I left Ventures West in 1990. After a year or so, not doing really a heck of a lot, I was asked to teach an entrepreneurship course at UBC. I said I would only do it if the course was open to science and engineering PhD students, because we don't need any more MBAs. We need science and engineering people who have training in business. So I taught it for 10 years. My students were half science and engineering PhDs. And that really changed my life, because I was watching technology change, and I had in my class all these incredible young PhD students who were going to change the world.
Haig was the only professor at UBC who insisted on interviewing all of his students before he started the course. He wanted to get to know us and to know our backgrounds and to know our interests. And as a result, we got to know him. He mentored us really right from the beginning of the course, and then those who showed real interest and passion for the subject, he kept on mentoring.
Basically, everything I've done since I graduated from university has been directly affected by him.
Haig is the person that gives life to people's careers.
He's my mentor, and frankly, the reason I'm in this business today is probably because of Haig.
He has been an integral supporter of the Forum for Women Entrepreneurs since I started it, 17 years ago.
He helped fund a trip for me to go to Texas to meet with Cecil Green, who was the co-founder of Texas Instruments. And then he became the chair of my board when I launched a program called the Creative Destruction Lab.
He's continually opened new horizons for me and challenged me to really think about the impact I can have as a scientist and entrepreneur.
He's some sort of a genius. Something seems to go ping in the back of his mind. What he really cared about was making something happen.
To say Haig has had an impact on British Columbia is an understatement.
He was willing to mentor people, he was willing to speak, he was willing to do anything that we needed.
If it wasn't for Haig, I can wholeheartedly say that my life would have been completely different, probably for the worse.
You know, if anybody ever asked me, like, who do you know who might be, like, stand out? Obviously, he's the first person that comes to mind.
He will help anybody with anything if he feels he can add value.
Haig's continuing legacy is going to be all the people that he mentored, that he nurtured a generation of us, and we are all now paying it forward.
I think the future has yet to be written, but I'm confident that Haig's legacy will live on through the people that I touch and all of the impact that I have in my life. And I like to think of it as the Haig effect.
All this needs to start somewhere. And that somewhere is not a somewhere anymore, that's someone. And that someone is Haig.
Anybody in science will tell you that they're standing on the shoulders of greats who came before them, and I'm just standing on the shoulders of people who did things that I helped a little along the way.
Haig Farris you built and we benefited.